Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. So, boy, was I excited when I got the new Joe Rogan podcast notification. Roy Jones Jr. Joe's been talking about this for months, and finally, he released the podcast last night. I'll talk about it in a minute, but first, this Roy Jones Jr.
I'm my chipos, man. I got this, yeah.
You can call a judge, tell him kiss my ass, cause I ain't gon' bug. And I ain't going back to lock up. You're trying to clock a pop up. I ain't going back to broke, and I'm never gon' stop the puffin'. Not for nothing. The block, they need me. The streets, they need me. The club scene, nigga, it's mine, believe me. You don't believe me? Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. When will you niggas learn? Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get started, came to get it right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. When will you niggas learn? Open your hearts for me, look what I got for you. You in the presence of greatness, I make it hot for you. Pass the rock to me, block it, I run with it. Here for the game and all the pussy that come with it. So full of focus, I'm insisting on keeping it going. The franchise, I exist in a league of my own. Expect attention, I'm familiar with being ignored. The true backdated, locking and closing the door. Brick wall in the road, I won't move. The king, I'm like Roy in the ring, I can't lose. Show the face of what compare to man. You wanna walk? Motherfucker ain't hard to find. I holler back, nigga. Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. When will you niggas learn? Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get started, came to get it right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. When will you I move when my heart say move. Feels like a lion, got nothing to prove. Stubborn as a hot damn mule. God in my corner, nigga can't lose. Trying to pick me out my hot damn shoes. See how quick I drop up and give you bitches the blues. They gon' see you on a hot damn news. And I ain't leaving nothing. Linking me to the crime, not a print, not a hot damn clue. Beating these niggas down is what I came to do. And I ain't playing by a hot damn rule. Shaking you niggas down if you ain't paying your dues. We passing up your block and ooh, my screws are loose. Don't call my hand cause you gon' make me act a hot damn fool. Dead discussion, you will not win cause I will not lose. Can't be touched, can't be stopped, can't be moved, can't be rocked, can't be shook. We hot. When will you niggas learn? Came to get crunk, came to bring life, came to get started, came to get it right. Turn down the music, turn up my mic. When will you niggas learn?
So how awesome was that? The GOAT, greatest of all time, perhaps? By the way, Roy Jones Jr.'s inspiration and hero, well, no surprise here, Muhammad Ali. So Roy is 51 years old, and if people don't know, he's fighting Mike Tyson. What is Tyson, 54? I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, these guys are older. I mean, Roy Jones looks great, and he showed it off in the podcast. He went like this. It's like he's those massive biceps, huge ball here. So they're fighting end of November. I don't like it. The guys are older. Somebody could get hurt, and I saw Tyson hit the bag, and I don't know. Who knows? But it's gonna happen. Everyone's excited about it. I'm not. I'm really not. But here's a little bit of Joe.
Roy Jones Jr., ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, my brother?
Yeah.
I'm honored to have you in
He's
here.
51
I've been
years
a fan
old.
Forever.
I know this, and I was going to tell you that I am very
Happy to be here for you.
Okay, everyone knows the link. I'm not going to play. So, a couple of things. What I found was interesting. Joe was talking about Roy Jones Jr. Very unique style. He never, he didn't jab. His opening was left hook, like a flying, and hands always down. Crazy style, and just tremendous athleticism. I've never seen anything like it. Maybe like Sugar Ray Leonard, that sort of dance and all that. So he said something very interesting. He learned sort of how to fight like that by looking at chickens, right? The pecking order. He said to himself, like, why is this one the leader? Why is this guy, this particular chicken, alpha, head of the pecking order? And he would have, what number one is that tremendous confidence, right? Everyone says, Roy Jones, you cocky bastard. And yeah, it's that. He goes, but it's really confidence. You're not going to win if you're not confident. If you don't think you're the number one, if you're the fucking shit, forget about it. Don't step in the ring. So, but not only did he observe how chickens would fight, he would look at them 24/7 when the other chickens weren't around. How did he conduct himself? How did he behave? So, very interesting. Go back to the podcast and watch it. It's pretty good. One thing that was a little disappointed, Joe talked about Gerald McClellan. If people don't know who he is, Gerald McClellan was big in the 90s, up and coming star. They were saying, whoa, my God, this is the best ever, better than Mike Tyson, or they compared him to Mike Tyson, and he was beating everyone. He was actually scheduled to fight Roy Jones Jr., which is why Joe brought it up. And McClellan, Nigel Benn, the fight with Nigel Benn, horrible, depressing, tragic, suffered terrible brain injury. To this day, he's deaf, blind, in a wheelchair. I've actually done a couple of videos. If you're interested, you go back and see. I've done a mini documentary on Gerald McClellan. So fucking sad, man. Just like, it's such a turnoff. I love the sport of boxing. I love boxing. I love martial arts, but I'm obviously conflicted. Sometimes I'm like, this is stupid, man. Is it really worth it? Brain damage, blind, it's horrible. So Joe brought this up, and kind of weird. Like Roy Jones was like, I knew he was going to lose. Like, dude, I'm not talking about whether he's going to win or lose. He's in a situation worse than death. He can't see or hear, or barely. He's blind and he can barely hear. It's so depressing. Like, when I saw that, when I watched it, I step away. It's like, this is a barbaric sport. Like, kind of like a Howard Cosell thing. Howard Cosell at the end walked away from boxing. Like, this is fucking crazy. You're smashing someone. All right. So I'll end it here. I'm almost 10 minutes. Watch the podcast. Roy Jones Jr. on Joe Rogan. It finally happened. Roy Jones Jr. is going to fight Mike Tyson. We'll see what happens. Okay. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. Peace, love, and understanding here in Tabor Talk.